My conversion really kind of started with a seeking of information. I had met my husband, Daniel, and started going to Mass with him occasionally, and really got interested and curious about what was happening in Mass and what do Catholics believe and why. And I would ask him these questions, and sometimes he would have answers and sometimes he wouldn't. And at that time I was also going through a Protestant Bible study with a women's group. That was really great, and the people were great, and I thought the material was good, and I believe it was true, but it seemed to me that something was missing, and I wasn't quite sure what that was. And during the study we did a little a worship time where they passed out small cups of grape juice and a little piece of bread. And that was kind of their version of communion, which was very just kind of symbolic. And at that moment, it struck me how different that kind of non-denominational faith was from the Catholic faith. And I thought, I need to figure out why the Catholic faith is taking this communion a lot more literally. And so that kind of piqued my interest, and I thought I need to find out more about that. Combined in with the fact we had 2 little ones at the time that had been baptized, and we knew we were going to raise them in the Catholic faith, and I thought I need to figure out more about this faith so I can raise them and answer their questions and know what I'm doing with this. So I decided to go into RCIA in 2015, and Daniel came with me, and he was my sponsor. That was a great experience, and Daniel learned as much as I did. He was a lifelong Catholic, but like he said, and many others, that we both learned maybe things we'd known in the past, but they meant something different as we've gone through different stages in our life. And so it was a couple classes into RCIA that I really felt like the pieces were kind of falling into place, and that I wasn't just learning the Catholic faith, but I was really learning the truth. And I realized that's why I was there, is I wanted to know what is true. Why are we here? What are we doing? What does God want from us? And so through that process, I felt like a lot of my questions were getting answered. So once my mind and kind of the informational part was being taken care of, my heart sort of naturally started to open more to God, receiving His graces, and starting to discern His will a little bit more in my life. A specific time when I really felt like God intervened in my life was when I had had my second baby, and it was during the delivery was complicated. The baby was fine, but I had a bit of an issue with my placenta after, and I won't go into all the details, but it was a traumatic experience, and I ended up being okay also, but I carried this event with me for a long time afterward, and I would replay this specific traumatic event in my mind over and over. And this was really stressful because I felt like we wanted to have more kids, and I felt like God was asking us to be open to having more. But I was conflicted because I kept replaying this event. So I talked to a couple doctors, and they told me that most likely what happened during that last delivery would be similar if I had another baby. It could be a little bit worse, but this time we could be more prepared to know what we were going into. That didn't really reassure me that much. I still worried about it. And then I did end up getting pregnant again. And so this third baby came at a really special time. I had just completed becoming Catholic. I was confirmed, baptized and confirmed, and then soon after that found out I was pregnant with the third. And this was special also. I had had a couple miscarriages before. So it was a stressful pregnancy, but it was a special one. And I really had to ask God for help to trust Him, which was hard for me because I wasn't used to trusting someone that was so out of my control. And luckily, during RCA, I had gotten to know the story of Saint Gianna, and I chose her as my confirmation saint. So her story inspired me about her. She was the patron saint of unborn babies and mothers, and she had a traumatic delivery. And so I ended up praying to Saint Gianna for the 9 months or so that I was pregnant, and asked her for her intercession, that she would pray for us for a healthy baby a safe delivery with no placenta issues, and that's what I prayed pretty much every day. And just praying that gave me comfort and helped me to realize whatever was going to happen was in God's control, and that was fine. So fast forward to Christmas Day. Our baby was due on Christmas Day, and he was born on that day. It was also kind of special timing. And I had him, and the delivery was just perfect. He was totally healthy, and I had 0 placenta issues. And my doctor was pleasantly surprised. And when I asked her what she thought the reason might be, she had no idea. And of course, I knew that God had intervened for us. Not saying that qualifies as a miracle, but definitely felt that He heard those prayers. I feel like the Lord has pursued me specifically through my children and through the vocation of motherhood, which I'm sure is a common route that the Lord would take. But it was pretty apparent to me. My kids were what kind of drew me to Him. So trusting Him with the pregnancies and following His will for us in terms of being open to having more children after we'd had some difficult experiences, and then raising them, feeling like I needed to know about the faith, and that naturally drew me closer to God and wanting to know how to explain things to them. He's also used my kids in terms of being a role model. So I've learned that I cannot just tell them things, that I actually need to live out these values and these actions. So that has naturally drawn me closer to Him. So I have asked for help in how to show my kids the best, way to live out your faith, which I'm still working on. I feel like the Lord has pursued me mostly through my children. It's made me have a much greater trust in something beyond myself. So in terms of, I've had a couple of difficult pregnancies, and I've had to really trust Him and get closer to Him in that way. And then in raising our kids, I've sought out more information about the faith and wanting to teach that to them. So that's brought me closer to the Lord in that way. And then I've realized I need some help in how to be a good role model for my kids, so that I'm not just telling them what to do or how to act, but that I'm hopefully showing them and living out that life for them. Let's see. My faith is important to me because it, I would say, mostly brings a sense of freedom. I feel a sense of freedom from worry, that I don't have to worry about every detail in life. I don't need to worry about the future. I know that someone else is in control, and I can kind of have a freeing sense about what's going to happen. My faith is given me a calm and a strength, and especially during this last difficult year that we've had, it's been a huge relief to know that where we are right now in this life, it's not supposed to be easy and peaceful all the time, but that we are supposed to have challenges in this life, and that's okay. And luckily we have that promise that we are not here forever, and that we are moving forward to the next life. So it's given me that reassurance and that freedom to be thankful for each day and try to live in the moment of each day, rather than stressing about all of these future events that may or may not happen.